Hey, how's it going? So, if you're worried about an elderly family member or friend who wants to continue to live in their home, but you're not sure if it's safe, then this is something you're definitely going to want to pay attention to. My name is Mike Hawkins. I'm the owner of Interim Healthcare of Utah. We are a non medical home care company that helps families avoid the uncomfortable conversation of moving someone into assisted living. So, if you haven't had that conversation yet, let me tell you, it is not typically a very comfortable or fun conversation to have. Odds are your loved one is very attached to where they live currently. They are very resistant to move. They don't want to admit they need help, and they certainly don't want to move out of their house to get it. So, if that sounds like you, we can help. So let's talk about that uncomfortable conversation. Have you had it yet? If not, how come you haven't had it? If you're worried about their safety, odds are it's because you know it's going to be a very uncomfortable conversation. You're going to talk about moving out of the home they're living in now into maybe 200 square feet of bedroom where they're going to have to pare down everything they own down to a couple of very small things. The cost of assisted living is very high, and they're going to give up a lot of their independence and freedom because they're going to have to eat meals when meals are served. They're going to have to eat what's served. They're going to lose all of that familiarity they have by living in their own homes. So that's why most people, 9 out of 10 people over the age of 65, say they'd prefer to stay in their own home if they can. But your loved one needs help. So what are you going to do? Have you considered home care? So my company, Interim Healthcare of Utah, provides assisted living level of care, but we do it in the home rather. So we bring our care to you and your loved ones versus you having to move them to where the care is. Did you know that most people in assisted living only get 3 to 5 hours of care per day? So a huge part of that cost is paying for rent and meals and activities that they probably aren't going to participate in. Um, when most of the time they just need a little bit of basic help around the house. So home care is probably the easiest option to try as you're considering getting care for them. Here's how the process works. With us, we'll schedule a simple assessment. We'll come out and meet with you and your loved one. We'll assess their needs to make sure that they are compatible with our type of care. And if it's a good fit, we'll schedule a caregiver who will begin providing care from a few hours a day up to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And if hopefully it's a great fit. It isn't always a great fit, and if it's not, we'll adjust and we'll try again. If it's still not a great fit, you just tell us not to come back. Unlike the challenges of having to move, what do you do with their house? What happens if assisted living isn't a good fit? You got to move them again. What happens if assisted living eventually says they've got to move out, which happens a lot. So with home care, it's the easiest thing to try first. You always have the option of assisted living as a secondary option. But why go down that hard, much more challenging road at first when you can try something as simple as having a caregiver come over and provide the care? So let's talk about what kind of care we can provide. So again, it's the same level of care as you'll find in assisted living. So we can help them with their household chores. We can do laundry, dishes, change linens on their beds. We can cook meals for them. We can provide more intimate levels of care. We can help them get dressed. We can help them do with bathing. We can help remind them to take their medications so they stay on track. And we can also provide transportation. So we can take them on outings. We can drive them to their doctor's appointments so you don't have to take time off work to do that. We can take them to visit friends and family. So basically all the same things you'd find in assisted living. We just do it in the home. It's always one-on-one. So unlike assisted living, where they may need some help and they push their call button and it takes 45 minutes for somebody to arrive because the caregivers are down the hall helping somebody else, with us, our caregivers right there. They're always available to help. They're always on standby, ready for your loved ones whenever they need us. So if your loved one's a fall risk, if they've fallen in the past, they're certainly going to fall again statistically. our caregivers will be right there to help get them up out of their chair, get them in and out of the restroom, get them to wherever they have to go, make sure they do it safely, and so that you can continue to live your life without stress and worry about whether your loved one is okay. So odds are you're like most people who call us. You started out helping your loved one a little bit at a time. You probably go over there on the weekends to make sure they have groceries. You go over there a couple nights after work to make sure they've got something to eat and the house is picked up and their mail is getting checked and bills are getting paid and those kinds of things. But something's changed. You feel that it's starting to overwhelm you a little bit. You feel like the amount of time you have available to give to them is no longer enough time to keep them safe and to give you peace of mind of knowing they're okay. So you can continue to do what you're doing and keep your fingers crossed and hope for the very best that they're going to continue to be safe, or you can give us an opportunity to come in and help so that you don't get drawn into that role of being exclusively their caregiver. You can continue to be their family member, their friend, their loved one, the person that goes over for visits, not to go over there and do chores. Getting them all the help they need in an environment where they're the happiest and the most comfortable, and where odds are you're the most happy and comfortable to visit them, is pretty easy. Just click the link down below and let's schedule a time to talk. When we are on the phone together, we'll find out as much detail as we can about their situation. We will explain how home care works. We'll answer as many questions as you have. And if it sounds like it's a good fit, we'll set up a time after that to come out and visit with you and meet you face to face. So your obligation at this point is just that simple. Click the link, schedule a time to talk, and as a thank you for putting your time into us, I have a 300-page senior resource guide that we put together that I'll email you to for absolutely nothing as a thank you for your time. In this guide, it's got just a ton of information that will help you understand their situation, understand what options and resources are available, etc. So again, click that link. Let's get on the phone. We look forward to chatting with you really soon. I promise, whether you decide to use this or not, it doesn't matter. Your time with us on the phone will absolutely benefit you, and you will get some great things from it. So again, click that link. Let's have a conversation very soon.